don't know what that warning said. Okay, so this is going to take a few minutes to just copy, and then I'll be able to open another version of, uh, of this file. But before it does that, this is what I'm talking about. So we only had 12 of those things. Did we even have 12? Sounds like that's a little high.
No, I think we had 12.
We can always delete them later, but I actually sat on one and broke one. But
The timing makes it look like 12 should be in there.
yes, yeah. 12 should be in there.
Yeah.
Well, the next one though is at 4:57. Oh, you're saying that's a little bit of a break?
Yeah, I think.
I mean 1:57. Yeah. So anyway, we had 12 of these things, these targets. Frank collected almost all of them, except for I collected 2, and I didn't understand it. He was writing out B Pierre target 03. Like, that's a lot to type on this annoying little screen. So I just wrote 08 and 12. Those 12 are the only ones where we're going to be able to identify. That's what we're going to do. How many people do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Me. And then we have 11, 12 on the coast, but they can't reach through the cyberspace and mess with our computer, although that would be great. So we got 12, but we're each going to take turns. So each of us is going to come up here and do this process. And the process is that we're going to tell the computer exactly where each of these targets was in the imagery. And we have to do it on more than one image. It says ideally 4 to 5 images. It does help, as many as you can see it in, the better. So we'll do that process. So what I was saying before is that I have to get rid of all this other data for now, because we only care about this data for checking the accuracy. This data is for tying it down. This data is for checking the accuracy. You can't mix those two. You can't use some data to check the accuracy and then use that same data to tie it down, or vice versa. Well, you tie it down first and then check the accuracy. That wouldn't make any sense, right? That would be like the answer beforehand. Now, it is interesting to see how well all of your points fit into. In other words, if you say, I'll go back to ArcGIS for a second. Well, do I even have ArcGIS open? No. But I do have this window open. If you said, okay, this point right here is XYZ, and this point is XYZ, and that point is XYZ, as soon as you add 3 points, there's really only one way they can all fit, and if this distance is actually a little bit further, it has to like scrunch it in a little bit, and so there's going to be some error in the model, and it's going to report that as it's using the same statistic that we're going to use to verify the accuracy, and that is the root mean squared error. In other words, it's the average, it takes the error, and then it takes the absolute error, and then it takes the mean of those errors, it squares those errors, takes the mean of those errors, and then takes the square root. So it's in the same units as the thing itself. It'll be in meters in our case. And so it'll tell us how well that it fit the model. But that's different than checking the accuracy. That's just it's basically a measure of how well our GPS measurements were. Some of them might be a little bit off. Either we were a little tipsy when we were holding the pole and we're moving around, or we didn't put the pole right in the middle, or we didn't actually identify the exact right point. There's all things that are going to go into that. That RMSE number, it tells us more about how accurate we can consider the locations to be relative to each other and measuring the size of things. Okay. The other RMSE number, which is a blind, it doesn't have ground control targets to go into, tells us more about what the user can expect. So it's a measure of the user accuracy of our data, how off it is. Okay. All right. So to sum up, we need to take all of these data. It looks like it's down to 12. I'm going to make sure I get the right data. See, it's all the way down. So the last one is it's 5112, not 5111. So if I go back over to the other Excel spreadsheet, oh, I just undid. So never mind. So what I got to do, I thought that I went back to the original. What I have to do, I'm just going to get rid of all the other data because we don't need that for now. We only really need that in the shapefile. So get rid of all that data, and we're going to get rid of the labels. We don't really need those. It's going to relabel them anyway. And then we're going to delete up to there. So now we got just the data we need, the ground control points. And then we're going to delete that data. So now we have the X, the Y, and the Z location. So now we're going to go File, Save As. Remember, we can't do save. That would be bad. Bayou Pierre, checkpoints. Oh, wait. This time we can do save because we already saved it as something else. So it's still saving the... I'm going to close this so it doesn't... There we go. So now we have the correct data. I'm going to open up this and... So now we have 12. We have 12 points. Okay. All right. So now we go back to Pix4D. Oh, it looks like, unfortunately, doing this at 250 feet is not going to get some of these tall trees. It's kind of expected. I think I left this in there by accident. This actually is a picture I took like right after takeoff. So it's only like 5 feet above the, or 5 meters above the ground. So it's okay. In fact, I could click on that. Let's see. But it's kind of unfortunate that it didn't get these data in the trees. Yeah. So see, there's me, and there's Dan, and there's the ground control point. So it's kind of not surprising that it didn't find any data for that one. Okay. So I am interested in correcting this one, but we're just going to open up another project that had both of the data sets in there. Pix. Just finished copying. Oh, it's almost. By the time Pix4D opens, this will be done copying. So I had to unzip. So when you download it from the cloud, it's already a project, but it's a zip file, and so I have to unzip it. It's unzipping everything. It's unzipping all the pictures and everything. This is the project that I'll probably just post this zip file to Canvas. So a link to this zip file to Canvas, so you can download. If you download this project, you'll be able to get all the original pictures as well as the the completed. Well, it'll be a fully completely run, but it won't have had the geo processing done. So you can either do that yourself again on these computers, or maybe I'll upload the completed process too once that finishes. So now it's a race to see whether or not this will get to 90% oh, this finished. Oh, okay, that's open. I might just be able to use this because this just needs to get to generate the report. So it's pretty much done. Then we could just use this. But you see how this time it didn't get the forested, and it was pretty windy that day. Plus we were flying pretty low. 250 feet is, I bet you, well, we know that if we flew higher, we would have gotten better data. But the area that we're really concerned about, it's hard to tell here, but we got all the area that we're really concerned about. I'm going to zoom into there. See how we got all this area. We got all this area, the sandbar itself. I wonder why this isn't completing. Okay, that completed. So now I'll open it up in Pix4D Mapper. Well, at least we'll be able to compare. I put this on my, okay. So kind of like how in ArcGIS when you open something, it says, where is this? Because on the cloud, it was probably using a different drive. And so you have to tell it where it is. But it's pretty easy. You just click into it. Okay. All right. No, I guess I have to. I guess that's just the project. Where's the initial data?
I think it's just looking for the pictures.
I know. Where are the pictures, though? Oh, I have them on my computer, but they should be in that same folder. Because that's the full thing. I thought that it included the pictures as well. I guess I could just tell it to use the pictures that I already have on disk. But I don't know if it, like, I don't know if it renames them in the cloud. Okay. Let's go to C. This computer, this PC. C. UAV course by Pierre. I'm a little worried that because there were, when I uploaded it to the cloud, there were multiple files named the same thing. So I'm worried that it's like going to pick the wrong pictures. I wonder if see, I selected so I wonder if I need the input images. There's only 999 of them. That's weird because there were more than that. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. If this would just finish, it would be great. It seems to be stuck on this step. Okay. All right, well, here's the other project. So this doesn't look to be all of the images, all the 200 images. So what this looks like it is all of the 400 images plus the obliques plus a few of the 200 images is what it completed. So we can still do the process, or we can start doing the process with this data right here. So see, it says that each of those have completed already. You only really need to have this done, but we can do this, and hopefully we'll be able to see the ground control points at this height. And hopefully this will complete in the next few minutes, and then we can apply it to that one, which will be better. Okay, so what you do here is that, and different software are going to have different methods for doing this, but we need to go to the GCP MTP manager. That stands for Ground Control Point Manual Tie Point Manager. So although they're all going to have different methods to do this, it's all going to be the same basic principle. and that is that the process is you're going to take all your ground control points and you're going to identify them in the image. In other words, you're going to tie a particular ground control point, to a particular coordinate to some images. That's going to happen in all of them. So I'm going to select this. This is the ground control point editor. And you can actually add these things manually. You can go in here and hit add point. You can add a bunch of points manually, but we're just going to import our GCPs here in this button. Import them. And the default order is XYZ, which is the order that I saved them in. So we're just going to browse to that location where I saved them, which is right here, the CSV file. And we should be able to hit OK, and they should load in. Whew, they did. Okay. So here is the horizontal accuracy in meters. So what is that number, by the way? Was that in our file? No. Okay. What is 0.0 meters? What's another word for that? 2 centimeters, right? That's the default. That's actually pretty close to, if we look at the report for the data, the reported accuracy of the GPS is around that. It said that almost all of our points were within 3 centimeters of the the estimated accuracy was within 3 centimeters. So we'll leave that default there. I don't know if that was in the metadata. Let's go Control Z, Control Z. It might have been, but it was definitely in the report that I had before. Oh yeah, horizontal precision, vertical precision. So here it says 10 centimeters, but I don't know if any of the others were different. Which one of these? Horizontal precision. Yes, see some of these are much higher. Some of them are actually lower. But that's just saying that its guess is that was within 10 centimeters. So it could change that if we want to. We're just going to leave that there. It doesn't it doesn't really affect the outcome, but it will affect the calculation of the error statistics. So we're actually going to be checking our own error statistics. We're going to be using our own checkpoints, so that's why it doesn't really matter too much for us. Okay, so we've got these things. We could also change the type of them. By default, they're what they're supposed to be, a 3D GCP. In other words, we know the X and the Y and the Z. If we didn't know the Z, for example, if we just had a high resolution, then we'd have to change these to 2D GCP. Okay? Or if we wanted to just say, I know this is the same thing, I don't know where it is, but I know this point in this object is the same as this point in this object, that's called a manual tie point, and that will help if it has trouble processing. And so those are basically, I think there's one more thing in there, but those are the types there. Yeah. So that's an MTP, manual tie point. A checkpoint is actually what we're going to use with the rest of ours, but we're going to do it in ArcGIS. I think it makes more sense there. Okay, that way we don't have to identify them, because we can't identify them. We don't know where they were. Okay. There are two different options here for how to actually go about selecting these points themselves. Okay, so you can't use this option, which is a lot better because it actually will help you identify where it should be. You can't do that unless you've run the step 1, initial processing. So that's why we did the step 1. You can use the basic editor, and you could somehow go through every photograph and see if it had a ground control point in it and write it down, which ground control point was in there, and then manually select them. But this takes forever. It's not fun. So always run it first, and then you'll be able to see them better. Okay, so we're gonna do that. So go ahead and select a point, the first point, and we hit Ray Cloud Editor. Did this finish yet? Did not finish yet. Okay. Looks like this one actually didn't stitch over here as well. It's interesting. So it's okay. All right, so we've got our ground control points. And we can actually see them now in the data. See these little spikes with the things? Those are the ground control points. That finished? Okay, that finished. So I'm gonna switch over to that one here in a second. Okay, so here we've got our ground control points, and we can select on. Oh, I'm gonna pull this up. We can select on a ground control point. The smaller screen is harder to deal with here. I guess I don't get any more screen. Is there a way to make this smaller? Or just pop it out? Okay. No. This really stinks. There we go. Now we at least got one. Okay. All right. I'm going to close this up. We can recorrect that one later, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it on this one because I think we're going to be able to see the ground control points a little bit better. You can see it didn't do a great job in the forest, which is what we expected. But we don't really care too much about the forest. So we're caring more about these areas. So yeah, let's go back in, open up the GCP manager, hit import GCPs, browse to the same location. I'm glad that finally finished up. Up here, 250. No, where did I put it? Georeference. Yeah, there it is. Okay. XYZ. Okay. Number of images. Okay, so now we're on, I guess we're on the very first one, but you don't see anything down here. So we need to find images that it could possibly be on. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to actually turn off the, one thing that I think is helpful, you turn off the images. So now we're just seeing our marks. These are where our marks should be. 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm counting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12. So there should be a mark underneath each of these that we can identify in some images. These appear to be fairly off, or maybe it's because I'm not looking straight down, but we didn't collect any on this side of the river right there, right? So these appear to be off a bit. So we might have to start marking before we're going to get precise, because we're off by a fair bit. Maybe it's just the perspective, but we'll see. So if I select this one, this is the first one that we collected. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the first one, and then we'll each take turns. This actually turned out better. Before this was bigger. I don't know why it wouldn't let me make that smaller. So now what this is telling me is, okay, this is the ground control point that you have. And these are the images that are around that location. Okay? So if what we can do is kind of zoom out and see if we can see it. Okay? It's actually way over here. See how far off it is? So that's how far off, just by default, the data is. So what we need to do is zoom way down in here and select. See, what we're trying to do is select the center of that point, because that's where we put the GPS. So we select on it. Do I have to actually move it over? Maybe I do. I don't want a new tie point. Oh, this is, I clicked on the automatic tie point, not the, there we go, sorry. No, I'm still not on the automatic tie point. That's what I want to do. There we go. Now I'm on the GCP. But now I'm not getting the view that I want. That's the right data. I think it closes both of them. What's that? Oh, yeah. Maybe that's it. Oh, thank you. Usually I'm operating on a huge screen where I can see like 7 images at a time. Okay, so this is GCP 0, and these are the candidate images. It's still pretty far off in terms of where it is. I would have thought that it would be much closer. That's GCP 1. Okay. So it's not pulling up the images that I want. So sort image by distance. So I think the only option I have is to once the nice thing is that once this starts to go into place, it'll sort them a little bit better. These look better than the other one, the one we downloaded from the internet, but I guess they're still off. Okay, so I'm going to go back to GCP 1 or GCP 0, and then I guess the only option I have is to sort them by A to Z. Do I have all of the images here? This is typically, oops. Okay, there's a couple different ways to tackle this. I thought that this would show up better than it is. Oh yeah. Oh, am I still on selection? No. Okay. So
which image it had on the automatic, go back to find that image.
oh yeah, like if I click on here,
Well, it had 0957 was the first one that was up on the automatic.
was the first one that was up on this one?
Yeah.
0957.
Yeah.
That one had the thing in it. Okay. 0957. See, 0957 doesn't even show up in that list. Mm, no, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, project, GCP editor. The elevation data is is significantly off. I think that's what's causing it. Like the elevation data between the drone and the tie points is really far off. GCP, these are all GCPs. So, no, okay. Project. Where did the other window go? Did I close it? There it is. Well, um, I guess the one way to solve this is to go into the basic editor, which it'll be, um, it will be, using the basic editor is a good exercise to at least start with. So the only problem with using the basic editor is that um, we don't know for sure which point is which, unless you were out there and you know which order that they were laid in. So this right here, I know is point 0. I know that. And so what I can do is start with these, and then maybe we can switch over to the other point later. So here we have the point 0, and on image 956, we can select the location. Now, what we want to do is get as close to the center as we can. I think that's a pretty good mark. So I'm going to mark that, and then I'm going to go to 957, see if it's in there as well. It is. It's right there. And then mark that again. Oh, were you guys gone for a little while? I'm really sorry. So I ended up using the the manual tie points editor, for the basic editor first, and I'm going to put in a bunch of points this way. Okay. All right. So that's for point 1. Really, what we could do is just identify them in at least 2 or 3 images, and then rerun it. And because what's happened is because the elevation of the GPS is so precise, and the elevation of the drone GPS is really far off. It looks like, if we go back here, see how high that elevation is? That it's like way above it, and so it's not choosing the right automatic locations. So if we just go into, like, I don't even know if we need to do all of them, but we can go in to a number of them. Here's the second one. Did you see it there for a second? There it is. And then optimize it, which should be better. Okay, so there's the second one. It's interesting that these are at least pulling up some correct, like the first few points it pulls up are right. Maybe it's just because it's just using the 3D. So I mean the 2D. Right down there. Okay, so let's all practice. Let's see if that's good. All right, I'm going to need your help because you went to a lot more of these than I did. Oh, let me turn that down. Okay, so now we're going to go on to 2. All right, so I'm going to invite Dan up here to find the next one, wherever it might be. I do think that it's following us. Is that it? Didn't we put it? Didn't we put it right next to?
It's next to the tire, but that may not be the right tire.
Yeah, there's tons of tires. Oh, here's another tire. There it is. Okay, okay. So you go ahead and click a few of those points. I guess we can just do 3 or whatnot, 3 or 4. Yeah. So see how he's getting as close to the center as possible. So you got to find that tire again. Just zoom in with the yeah, that guy. And then wherever you are, yeah. See how that works? Okay. So yeah, just 3 will be fine. Cool. If you want to do it on one more or not. All right. Now
Oops, I said okay.
let's see if it saves it in basic
Yeah,
editor.
it's got,
Yeah. Okay. So go back to the basic editor then. That's where we were. Okay. Cool. Yeah. All right. Now, I don't know. Maybe. How am I going to find these things? Okay. 3 was in the woods, right?
no, 3 was in the was the tire. 4.
Yeah. So this is 4. I thought it was up here somewhere.
That is gonna be a tough one.
Well, maybe we can skip it. Oh, I think I saw it. Did you see it, Forrest?
I saw it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Good
Good,
job. Wow.
good eye, Forrest. So we click on that one. Let's go back out.
4 is. I know where 4 is going to be back out on the water.
I'm just going to get this in a couple of them. There it is. That is hard to see. I stuck one of the bigger targets there. Okay. Well, anyway. Okay, where's 4?
4 is back out on the water.
Is it on the water?
Yeah, right at the edge of the water.
Right there.
Yeah.
So it is pulling these in like for us. It's just so it is good that we ran step 1 because it is identifying or prioritizing the correct images. See that? Like I don't think this is an accident, right? It's just this isn't using the 3D information, but that's fine. Okay, so where's 5?
All right, 5.
5 was in the wasn't it? Because after that one we went up here somewhere. Oh, there's 2 people. Who was wearing? Oh, that's the rock. We found rock. They were out there rock collecting that day. Okay, I don't know where it
All right, we
was.
thought about putting it up on top, and then we ended up putting it down low. I think. Like close to the water.
Closer to the water,
I think.
and hopefully we're getting the right.
Near the end of the tall bar.
Oh, let's pick a different one. Different image. Oh,
The next one's going to be up on the clearing.
okay, let's go to the next one. That's not a good image, right? So this one's up here.
Oh, so 7, yeah, 7's on the clearing, so 6.
Well, this is actually numbered from 0.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, yeah, this is in the clearing. So we're going to pick out each of these points. Okay. What about 8?
That's going to be across the river to the south, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in here?
Yeah.
Was it close to the water or trees or anything?
It was in the middle of the sand, if I remember.
Oh,
There it is.
well, that's
Oblique, isn't it?
that's an oblique. I don't know if we're gonna be able to find them in too many obliques. I think it's off the bottom of this one. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think this one, it was. See how it's like. Well, that who knows what. Let's see. So I think it's off the bottom of that
I
one.
think it is.
There. I guess they dropped off again. Okay, so what? Maybe that oblique we'll be able to see it. No, is that's it?
Yeah.
But I don't know if I should place it on an oblique because you can't get the exact center. I don't think I wouldn't. I've never placed them on obliques before. So it should be. Anybody see it?
I did for a second. There.
There?
Oh, no, that's not it.
Maybe that. No. Maybe that. No. That's the advantage of the the fancy one is that it'll actually try to rectify. I mean to show it. So this has got 2, so that's probably good enough. So we skipped 2 points back here.
Yeah.
I know that one was somewhere. Like they're probably messing with it. Just kidding, they probably aren't. I want to say it was close to the water too, right?
Well, you know what? That one might have been not close to the water because we were staggering.
Okay. Let's get one of these last ones, and then we could rerun it. So that's got to be this one, right? This is the very last one. Yeah. So this is where we set up.
Yeah.
So that's Dan and I, or Dan and me. It's not in that one. That's a good point. If we did, we would have to have been very much more careful that we were collecting the right image, that we were hitting the right points. This area was so large that I think that we probably only had one ground control point in each photo. I mean, there might have been some exceptions to that.
The Ray Cloud Editor one really does zoom in
Yeah.
well. Because on my practice stuff at the house, I had 2, but it always went to the correct one.
Okay. I think we'll be able to run the Ray Cloud editor after we re-optimize from doing this process. Okay. What about 10? Do you remember where 10 might have been? That's an oblique or no? That's not an
Oh,
oblique.
that one's close to the. Well, wait a minute. You just did 11, right? Okay.
Is that
So
it?
12. I don't know what 12 is going to be, but that one would be closer to the water.
This one would be 11. I mean, this one would be 11 because it's
Oh, okay. Yeah.
that one's going to be closer to the water.
So.
I don't know. I don't see it. I think we might be able to just run it the way it is. We could test 9 too. Because I know where 9 was because you all had me go pick 9 up. There it is. And the reason why this one looks so much more precise is because that was the image that that I took right after I took off.
Okay. I did see my knee brace in a couple of pictures.
Oh, okay. Well, your knee brace should be in there, right? I don't see it in this one. Was it near any interesting features?
Not interesting. It was a little trashier looking, but just saying.
There it is. So I'm going to zoom back out to there. So it's kind of, see this dead tree? So dead tree, yeah, it's right there. You gotta learn how to pick out some points relative to. Okay. All right. So if I hit OK here, see now it's showing me the real point and the point as that I've given it based on that. So I've matched those points. Now I can see for sure which points I haven't matched. So I didn't match that one. Wonder if this will update without, it doesn't look like it will, without re-optimizing. Okay. Yeah, it's not in the trees. None of them were in the trees. They're all on the bar. But I could kind of see, that one doesn't look like it's totally maybe in the, anyway. So this also tells me how many points I've got in each. Basic editor. So that one was this one. So it looks like, I'm not going to do that oblique. Looks like it was up here somewhere, but not like right in the water. Right. Oh well. I think we've got enough to process it. So I'm going to save this project, and then this can take a little while. Which have you usually done?
I've done reoptimize, and it did take a while.
Yeah, it does take a little while. So we might, yeah. We might not be able to get to the Ray Cloud editor today. Let's see if this takes a little while, because basically it's going to try to do that reoptimization. Now it's not going to rematch everything, but it's going to use the manual tie point information to basically correct the images, because the images are off in X and Y, but they're way off in Z. So it's going to recalculate what they should be. And when the cameras do pop back up, see if we look here, you can see that the camera position is off by that much to where it said it might be, but that's actually not that far off. But what it's going to do is when it reoptimizes, it's now they're going to be off by a Z effect as well when that finishes. Let's see what that does. I don't know if when it gets to 100, it's over, right? There's not like multiple steps to reoptimizing. That last little while takes a little while. Yeah. All right. Well, are y'all back on the coast? Yeah. Sorry about the. Okay. No, it's not done when it gets to 100. It goes through a few different steps. I really like Dan says. I usually go get a break, so I really don't have any idea. I know this doesn't take anywhere near. It took about 2.5 hours to process through the first step, but I really don't know how long just the GHY the optimization part takes. But what's going to happen is that it's going to correct it down so that the points are closer to in their real position. But we're still going to want to go back and make sure that we identify a few points in these two. And I would actually identify, my personal rule is to identify at least 4, ideally 5 in each image. Because if you don't do that many, then it really doesn't have as much an idea of how incorrect it is. Plus, when you're going to put the crosshairs on that point, it you could be off by a fair bit, even zooming down in there because it's pixelated, right? And so the probability of the average point being correct goes up as you get a few more points. So that's why ideally you want to have as many points as you can get. But of course you could spend all day finding it in every single image that it's in. Likely it's going to be in about, because there's 70% overlap and it's going all different ways. So it's going to be in the next 2, maybe 3 pictures in every direction. So what is that? I think if it was in every 3 pictures every direction, that'd be 3, that'd be 6 in this direction, 6 in this direction. That's 20, it's going to be like 40 pictures maybe. That's the most. Probably more ideal, it'd be 4 by 4, which would be 16 pictures. So I think on average it's going to be, it seems to be if you fly with 70-80% overlap that it's in about 20 pictures if you really look for it. And so, ideally I try to get at least 4 or 5. Sometimes, if I get it in 10, that's at about half of the picture that it's really in. It's actually getting close to the end point here, I think. No. All right. Well, we don't need to keep you forever. Let's look at the this is going. Let's look at the schedule. For this class, and talk about what we're going to do. By the way, do you all get the announcements when I put an announcement on Canvas? Do you all get those? It doesn't show up as it shows up as a notification on my phone, but I don't know. Maybe you have to turn on your notifications, but it doesn't come as an email to y'all. No, okay. I wonder if there's a way to send out emails. What's that? Through SOAR. Yeah, that's true. But this is technically 3 different classes, so it's all together in Canvas, though. Okay. I think there is a way, so I'll try to find it. Do you want to load it? No, because I sent out a thing in SOAR. I mean an announcement. Sorry, not in SOAR. Okay, so a couple of things. So there was a paper due last week, but a couple of people have asked for extension. So if you are still working on this first part of the paper, then on this first paper, I'll give you a few more days. You can have a few more days. Talk to me about it. So don't despair, is what I'm trying to say. We really didn't go over this too much before it came up as a deadline, and I know that some of you were traveling to conferences and stuff. So that if anybody has any questions, just let me know. All right. Yeah. There's not a link in SOAR yet? Okay. So I'll submit a link in SOAR. The few people that turned it in have emailed it to me, but I'd rather it go up on SOAR. So let me do that. Okay. So don't submit it until it goes up on SOAR, and we'll do a full another week from now. Okay. I'll change the date to a full another week. Okay. All right. So remember, this is coming up in about a month. Well, a month from today, is that you need to map something. So if you have a drone, you can do it yourself. If not, come check out a drone, or you can use some of the data that we collected already. Uh, but that's coming up, and that one will be harder. I mean, it'd be impossible to push the date back on that one. Okay. So you can come check out the Mavic. This is on SOAR. Can you not get into SOAR?
I always just try to take like a picture because
I mean, sorry, Canvas. It's on Canvas.
a lot of
Yeah.
just everything at school.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine.
Notes and also if I have it on my phone automatically on picture, I can take it left to the side for reference while working on something else.
Yeah. Okay, so next week we're going to meet again at 11:30, right at 11:30, and we're going to go out to Lake Thoreau, and we're going to collect data for vegetation analysis. So what this is going to involve is that we're going to lay out some ground targets that have known spectral qualities that I actually made them. I just they're kind of like the same targets we already made, but they're spray painted uh, black, they're spray painted gray, one spray painted black, one spray painted gray, and one spray painted white. So we're going to lay these out, and they're big enough that they'll take up multiple pixels. And since I already know the spectral qualities of those three targets, when we fly, hopefully it's a great day to fly. If not, then we'll meet back here. We're gonna process those to make to do radiometric correction, because we haven't talked about radiometric correction. And so we're going to use those three things and say, okay, well, if this pixel looked like this, what should it have looked like based on the known radiometric qualities of that particular target? So we're going to call them ground control targets. What I think I'm going to do, if we have enough time, I'm going to combine these two, and we're going to do both next week. And so we're going to fly the fixed wing drone, which has a super duper radiometric sensor in it that costs a lot of money, but the resolution isn't that good. The spatial resolution isn't that good. We're going to fly that on the fixed wing drone, and then we're going to fly that modified Phantom on the other drone. And I had hoped to buy another sensor before the end of the semester, but I think I'm going to spend that. I think I'm going to have to spend that money on a new laptop. So we've got those two sensors, and really the modified little sensor works about as well as the one on the modified Phantom. It's a little bit better in terms of its radiometric quality, but not much. So anyway, if we collect both of those data this time, then we can kind of talk a little bit more about the principles over the next week as we correct that data, and we'll also have time to take this data and come up with a good estimate of how accurate it is, and see if we can make any comparisons to the 2016 data. So we'll have 2 more weeks. I'm going to see if I can get my friend to FedEx out another version of that. So we may fly with that other camera that I was planning to buy, but if not, we still got both of these two to fly with and to collect data. So the fixed wing drone that I have to use, it's made by Parrot, and Parrot actually owns Pix4D, the company, and so you plan missions in Pix4D mapper just like we did for some of our other projects, and so it recognizes that Parrot drone, and it's a little more scary. It flies a little different. We're just going to let it go in a pre-planned mission rather than try to fly it. Okay, so we'll do both of those, and I think that we're going to fly Lake Thoreau, but I think that we're actually going to take off. Does anybody know where that dog park is that's behind the Hub City Humane Society? That's actually where we're going to fly from. it's a little bit easier to take off and land the fixed wing drone from that location because there's a big open. I don't know why it's fenced in. There's a big fenced in with a white picket fence. It looks kind of like it was a horse field at one point. Has anybody been out there? You've been out there. You see that field that's like a white picket fence around? No, there's one that's chain link for the dogs, but there's this overgrown field that has a white. It's like a split rail fence, a white split rail fence. It's an oval right next to it. That's where I've scouted out that we can take off and land the fixed wing from. So it's going to come down over the trees and really be kind of risky. So hopefully I don't have to call. The guy I called last time I got my fixed wing stuck in a tree, he lives like just over the trees from where it comes in. So at least he won't have to travel very far. He just climbed up the tree and got it, but we were way out in Colombia. Okay, so we'll combine both of those next week. We'll collect both of those sets of data and then we'll process those. So next week, and I'll try to send out an email. Next week we'll meet down in the parking lot again, and we'll go there. And does anybody want to meet us there? Okay, but you know where I'm talking about. Do you know where I'm talking about? What's that? It's on Jackson Road. Have you been to Hub City Humane Society? Not Hub City Humane. It's just called. Is it Hub City Humane Society? Yeah, I forget which one's which, but my daughter loves to go there and volunteer. She's like 11. She likes the animals, so I've been there a lot. So this is Lake Thoreau. Okay, that's Lake Thoreau, and then this is the fields of Barktopia. It doesn't look like this anymore. Right, that's old. Okay, good. I was hoping like they didn't clear the land in the last month since I've been up there. So there's a you can park here, but I wouldn't. You can drive in here. They've put a road. The road curves around here, and you could park right here. And this is the field that I'm talking. Well, no, this is the dog park. This is the field I'm talking about. There's like this open open area right there that we're going to take off and land in. And all of like Lake Thoreau is actually all of this land is part of the university owns. So we'll fly the drone over here. I'll let them know that we're going to be flying over there because it is kind of far. But we'll probably just fly the fixed wing in this area right here, just because I'm a little more concerned about where it is when it takes off and lands. So anyway, yeah, meet us right there. This is Jackson Road. So just go up Jackson Road and look for the signs for the dog park if you're going to meet us there. If not, we'll drive you out there. Okay. All right. So this finished. Now we're getting close to being done in terms of time anyway. But you see how those positions moved, and now they're all off. Not meaning off in a bad way, but they shifted all consistently up because of the correction in the Z. And so now I'm still going to let you go in a few minutes, but I'm going to show you this. So now if we go to the Ray Cloud editor, project GCP, there we go. See, now you can see how those were identified better. I thought I turned that down. Oh, I know what that is. The Comcast is coming to fix my internet in an hour. What's that? Yeah, good luck with that. My internet always goes bad after it rains, so that's what I'm complaining about. And as it warms up, it starts working again. Like does that happen to anybody else?
I used to have that problem with AT&T, but now I've got fiber.
Yeah, they don't have fiber out where I live. Okay, so that one already has enough points. This one has enough points. That one we could probably add a few too. Oh, it looks like yeah. See, now if I hit this search by distance again, it it uh, it it uses the corrected distance. So now I can zoom in there and identify it. So this is what it's saying. I forgot. I think this is where the actual point is. This is where it's saying that it is. I'm going to say it's a little bit further over, like right there. So now I've identified that point in that location, and so we're all good. So I could keep going on these guys and say, okay, it's really close to there. It's like right there. Why isn't this incrementing? Or maybe I have to.
Because that was already chosen.
Oh, it's choosing these.
Yeah. Like it used what you had, and then it's like itself based off what you had.
Yeah, but then it shouldn't say 3. It should say whatever. See how these.
The yellow circles are the ones you had already done.
Okay. Anyway, so 5. Let's see. So now I'm going to go project 5, where I don't have anything. Ray Cloud Editor. So now they're pretty close. So I should be able to choose one. But it shouldn't that increment?
Yeah, it should.
Okay, so now I had to hit save somehow. That's it. But I don't know how I did it. That's still not the right thing. Anyway,